Welcome to the Mind Compass, 10-minute doses of mindset growth for stress management and anxiety relief. Wada.
And good day, listeners. I'm Michael.
And I'm Janet. And today we explore why self-compassion is key to personal growth towards a happy and successful life.
In today's episode, you will discover why you play this self-destructive dialogue on repeat, where the hell did it come from, and how do you change it. So, do you want to grow and become the best version of yourself?
Well, it starts with self-compassion. And what is self-compassion? Self-compassion is where you turn your compassion inward. There is no more harsh and derisive critic than your inner voice, which is the opposite of compassion. The internal dialogue we continually hold with ourselves is often unkind, cold, and judgmental, making us feel really unworthy and inadequate. Negative self-talk derails your motivation, can lead to mental health problems or patterns, and makes it harder to be successful in life.
So why does our self-talk play like a track on repeat of a schoolyard bully? Well, we've discussed in previous episodes the negativity bias, which is hardwired into us from our primitive ancestors. Its primary function was to keep us safe from harm. For example, if our ancestors made a mistake that was life-threatening to themselves or others, the brain had a reason and a pattern to record the mistake, add appropriate scolding messaging, and set it on replay to avoid making the same mistake.
This pattern became stronger as we evolved as a species, even though as we grew more civilized, we didn't have so many life-threatening situations or mistakes. We didn't have, saber-toothed tigers chasing us. Things changed. And so similar to our overactive fight-flight response, it's an evolutionary response, this inner critic, that has run amok.
Our inner critic has its roots in past experiences and memories, some so long ago that we actually have no conscious memory of them at all. Your subconscious, though, records everything, every detail and every emotion associated with an event or a circumstance.
From infancy and through childhood, influences such as critical parents, guardians, siblings, carers, or being subjected to bullying at school by other students or teachers plants seeds or thoughts of self-doubt that grow and form and make that inner critic dialogue incredibly difficult to silence. And let's not forget late onset bullying that can happen at work or in your social circles as an adult. This bullying can be intense as with age grows the bully's tactical manoeuvres. Remember though, as my youngest child reminded me earlier this year, hurt people hurt people. So if you're on the receiving end of a bullying assault, it's coming from the perpetrator's damaged psyche. Bullies have low self-esteem. Even though they may show outward bravado, they tend to be riddled with their own self-doubts, and their lion of an inner critic probably makes yours look like a pussycat.
So, how do we change the inner critic into an inner cheerleader? Well, the great news is that you can take steps to tame and change your inner critic. First up, give your inner critic an image and a name. Why? Because it will make your conversation with it easier. You will know who you are dealing with. There's an old Disney cartoon from the 1930s called Donald's Better Self, which Janet loves immensely. And in it, Donald Duck has two little guides, one a halo-clad angel and the other a little red-horned devil. So when both of us are dealing with our inner critics and managing dialogues, we imagine the little red devil. And when you find yourself ruminating on the inner critic's dialogue, an effective method is to simply say, stop it. Or as Janet often says, shut the duck up. You can also picture a delete button and in your mind, press it.
You can also add some humour to your critic cleanup. For example, if I'm finding the inner critic unrelenting, I take 5 minutes and get comfortable, close my eyes and play a little mind movie. Picturing my little red Donald character with gaffer tape wrapped around his beak, or pressing a mute button so when his mouth opens nothing can be heard. Just let your imagination have some fun with this and you will find that your inner critic is silenced in a fun and healthy way.
The next step I suggest is to create an image for your inner cheerleader. In our case, we use the halo-clad Donald. And we actually have some porcelain figurines of both these characters as they serve to remind us of the duality of life and the choices that we constantly have before us. Like who to listen to, the critic or the cheerleader. Knowing that sometimes the critic is firing off a warning shot about some clear and present danger, and at times the cheerleader needs a reality check. As Wayne Dyer said, there's a fine line between a guru and an arsehole. It's all a balancing act, and if you can tune into your cheerleader to override the critic when needed, you will start to experience self-compassion.
Treating yourself as a friend and remembering how worthy and valuable you are. The more self-compassion you practice, the stronger your sense of self-worth becomes. You will find the energy and the motivation to keep striving for your goals and to ensure that you're constantly becoming and leveling up to your best self.
Thanks for joining today's episode of The Mind Compass. It's been a privilege to have you with us. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so for more mindset-shifting episodes designed to help you thrive in every area of your life.
If today's discussion resonated with you, why not share it with a friend or a loved one who could do with a dose of self-compassion? Sending you love and blessings.
See ya.